Hi, everybody. It's me, Dennis Woodruff, and welcome to the 5th episode of MasterClass with Dennis Woodruff. Tonight, primarily, we're going to talk about acting fundamentals, but also I'm going to kick in a few other subjects before. Listen, I got to be honest with you. My life in Hollywood for 25, 30 years has been unbelievably cruel. People in LA, only the top echelon of people that are making millions of dollars care about Hollywood. The rest, people don't care about Hollywood, and it's time for a change. And I'm not in a power position to be able to make changes and bring deserving people like me and other unknowns into the studios so we can get signed up and maybe do some parts and prove ourselves. So I'm at the mercy of this crazy life, trying to survive and making all my movies, TV shows, and cartoons and building my website and doing all that. And sometimes I actually had to panhandle on the street. And when you're starving and you're living in a van, people don't really care about you. And then you've got to make yourself presentable. And you also on the side, hopefully can save enough money like I did to make some movies and get people to edit them and put them up and show the world your talent. I want to tell you, the casting system, the producers, the directors, and the big stars don't give a shit in general about anybody. Usually in Malibu or Beverly Hills or some of the surrounding areas like Hollywood, people don't care. They don't care about you or I. And that needs to change, okay? And I don't know why this guy is, you're making me nervous. I can't change Hollywood, but I can bring attention to it. It's like I heard about in India, there's a zoo, and they're keeping elephants in the zoo in confined areas for years with no companionship and no space to walk around or being taken care of properly. And that's what's happening with the true artists in Hollywood. We're not being taken care of, and nobody cares, and everybody makes excuses, and the money and the champagne is flowing at the Academy Awards, but they don't care about the people out on the street that are trying to make it out here and get some jobs in the industry. And the big shots, even Steven Spielberg, doesn't really care about you and I. He's got all his little crew, and I'm not against Steven Spielberg, don't get me wrong, but it's scary because if they don't like you or you say anything bad about those people, then they will never work with you again because they built this reputation in general that they think that everybody just thinks they're the greatest person in the world, and maybe they're not. Okay? Now let's move on to acting. And if you can help with any of this, save the animals in the zoo in India, the elephants, get them moved to a different place. Please do some work on the internet and get the word out. Acting techniques can be very general. I would say watch 1,000 to 1,500 movies in the privacy of your own home or at the library on DVD, and learn about acting and filmmaking that way to start before you even take a class. Also, if you're crazy enough to think that you can come here with no money and survive, you are definitely insane because it's not that easy. And the only thing good about it is the weather is pretty good, but it gets cold at night. So when you're acting, learn also improvisation. You can take a general script and break it down into one scene at a time, which you're only responsible for one scene at a time, and act out and try to work with a director who you like. If you get called in for an interview, do your homework and find out if you feel comfortable that you would want to work with this director. If you feel that they would be abusive or they're too egotistical or authoritative, and they have no room for improv or your creativity and what you bring to the table, then don't even bother. Don't even go on an audition. Extra work is not the way to make it in Hollywood. Believe me, I've already did it. I did it for 5 years only as an experiment and to keep food on the table. There's hardly any jobs now, and the industry is sucked up by Netflix and studio projects and kiss asses in the talk shows that don't really care about interviewing people with humanistic stories trying to make it. I want to tell you also, when you read the script, read the whole script and try to understand the story, the beginning, the middle, and the ending, and then get down to the specific scenes one by one. Maybe even make an outline for yourself. Take notes. Understand what character you're going to play and what the story is and how he fits into the whole picture of the movie or the TV show. Also, don't worry about other people, what they're doing. Worry about what you're doing. And always try to be a nice person, positive, and never be mean to anyone. I mean that with all my heart. Try to show kindness. Is my face swollen right here? Anyway, it's the lighting. Anyway, let's get on with acting. You can take some classes, beginning acting classes at some of the local junior colleges, and I highly recommend UCLA has some night classes, and night classes are always good. I even took a basic acting class at Fairfax High School Adult Education Night School as well for 1 semester. I also went to Charles Conrad Acting School. He passed away, and he was teaching method acting. Just find your own way, that's all I can say. And one thing I've noticed when I first started is I used to have a tendency to overact and talk too loud and embellish things to where I was overacting. You know, you're scaring people. You'll scare the other actors. Keep it low key, okay? Don't overdo it. That's a tendency to emphasize. Just be subtle. Sometimes a quiet will make people listen and get closer to want to know what you say and listen more closely. Well, that's all I have to say about acting for now, and I hope that you buy some books on it, spend some time in the library, and when you come to Hollywood, make sure you have a safety net around you of money that you've saved. Don't come here with no money. It would probably be good if you could have $25,000 a year to live on, so you didn't have to work, and you could maybe stretch it out. 4 years would be $100,000, and then you could pay back your friends or family, probably family later, or maybe have a bank account. Well, that's all I have to say about that.